All right, my panel is back. I want to go first to you, Jamal, to get your sense of why it was so important for Obama to make that distinction, that message about nostalgia.
A lot of people were worried that if they went to this library opening or center opening, because it's not technically a library, there are no books there, they're keen to remind everyone it's a place for people to do things, that it would just be a nostalgic look back at a time that maybe we're past, and that people would revel in this moment where we all kind of sang, Kumbaya and America was great, and they wouldn't work on the problems that America faces today. The last part of the quote we played in the beginning was when the president began to talk about the democracy that was put in place by the founders and how it had the language of inclusivity, but it wasn't actually very inclusive. Women couldn't participate, African Americans couldn't, Native Americans, all these people were left out of it, land-owning white men. But that over the course of decades, over the course of that 200 years, we made America a place where we the people meant all the people. And now here we are at a moment where we can continue to do more work to make America better. That's the point I think the president was trying to make. We've come a long way, and we still have far to go.
Yeah, but this, frankly, this is about the past. All these presidential museums, or whatever you want to call them, are about the past. And it's particularly striking to me, looking at the current crop of Democratic leadership. First, President Obama, long retired, with his vice president, who's most recently on the job, kind of getting lost walking off the stage, and looks like he's out of a different generation, like he's the grandpa there. And then you look at the Hill leadership, and the Democratic Party doesn't have a leader like Barack Obama or President Obama. So this does rekindle a bunch of nostalgia for Democrats about kind of the current group versus what they had. Number one, and I think that's a very notable thing, looking at this. Number two, if you look at those
the country likes the Obamas. I mean, Michelle Obama.
That's what I'm saying.
They
don't like the current crop of Democrats, is my point. So here's my second point, which is you look at that group of presidents and former vice presidents, and you look at that group, that represents 11 presidential campaigns in 4 families, right? That is a lot of history sitting on stage at a time where the American people hate politics and hate organized parties as well.
One man not standing in the previous picture was the current president, Donald Trump, who was not invited to this. And I want to read this excerpt from the Wall Street Journal's Matthew Continetti, who describes Obama's legacy as, quote, he says, the cavalier attitude with which Mr. Obama imposed such policies, acting as if the opposition didn't exist or was beneath consideration, made backlash inevitable. Donald Trump's presidency may be Mr. Obama's most enduring legacy. What do you think about that, Jonah?
So I want to have some grace. This is Obama's day. He gets to have his center and all that kind of stuff. Matt Continetti is a friend and colleague of mine at the American Enterprise Institute as well. I think directionally, Matt's right about this. I think that the message that, and I agree with Jamal entirely, that Obama is actually very, very good about talking about the evolution of the ideas of the American founding and the Declaration of Independence, and I've always celebrated his ability to do that. That said, when he talks about the nostalgia, don't give in to the nostalgia about looking back at when I was president and everything was great. That is exactly what Matt is talking about, because half the country didn't think everything was great under Obama, and he talks as if the median Democrat who loves Barack Obama represents all of America. That's what America was like. He did have an approach to politics that created such resentment among Republicans on Capitol Hill, in flyover. Now, I think that resentment led a lot of Republicans to lose their friggin' minds. I want to be really clear about that. And they overreacted, and I think picking Donald Trump as punishment for Barack Obama was one of the most spectacularly dumb things the Republican Party ever did. But Barack Obama, the way he governed, the way he assumed that all the good people agree with me and love what I'm doing and that there is no credible argument on the other side of my policies, is one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why we got Donald Trump.
I will say Barack Obama did win majorities twice,
Sure.
Popular majorities. That has not happened for Democrats in a long time.
Yeah.
So he was one of the few presidents to win popular majorities. I think so. So the argument that half the country disagree with him, maybe a little less than half.
Okay, 47%.
Okay, it is true. I mean, there are many in this country who don't look at Obama's term with this sort of fondness of nostalgia as he described there, but at the same time, he is still popular. I mean, he is the most popular former president. 57% of Americans view him favorably. I wonder, Lily, what you make of his lasting appeal.
Well, first of all, I want to note that lots of people wore tan suits to this event because my job, I think, today is to talk about the sartorial choices that people are making, which I thought was kind of fun. Listen, I think what he has done with his library is actually pretty iconic and incredible. A lot of these libraries are pretty boring. They're self-serving, and I think this one is particularly beautiful, and the art choices that were made are pretty inspiring. I think every president's legacy will be hotly debated, and there will always be a part of the country that will disagree with them because they are by their nature partisan, right? They are elected by
social media.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, so I think placing Donald Trump at the feet of Barack Obama is just kind of thin sauce to my own viewpoint.
No, Hillary Clinton deserves a lot of blame too.
I mean, I think the Republican Party deserves a lot of blame because they were the one who actually,
I agree.
put his rise there. So, like, if blame, by the way, a lot of people love Donald Trump.
I was going to
blame
say,
is not the word for it.
well, thank
so,
you,
so if you
because
want to
they like
partition
Donald
blame,
Trump.
but what I'm saying is, Donald Trump is a singular figure in American political history, and I think he came at a time where there were fractures all across the political spectrum. So laying it at Barack Obama's feet, to me, doesn't work.
And by the way, to circle back on the tan suit, it will not be on display in case anyone was wondering. We'll be right back.